At wedding anniversary, I was attacked and had my neck cut by a relative of my wife's patient. I was hanging by a thread, rushed to emergency, but my wife, the surgical expert, never showed up. After I got out of danger, I saw a post from my wife's childhood friend, Howard, on social media. He made a joke about feeling so bad he wanted to jump off a building, and someone rushed to his side to comfort him. How sweet. The picture showed my wife smiling gently while blowing on a bowl of porridge, taken at 3 a.m. Meanwhile, I was in the emergency room fighting for my life. After getting discharged, I found a large insurance policy at home. The beneficiary was my wife. I overheard her whispering angrily in the bathroom. Damn Jackson. If only he was dead, we'd get $8 million in insurance money. Enough to pay off your debt. We weren't even 5 kilometers from the hospital. I was bleeding so much and could pass out any time. Becky stopped the car by the side of the road. Get out, she said urgently. Howard's depression is acting up. He's about to jump. I need to get to him immediately. Couldn't believe my ears. My eyes widened in disbelief. I had several severe wounds, the deepest cut on my neck nearly down to the bone. And she was asking me to get out of the car. I tried to speak, but Becky impatiently frowned. Don't you know Howard's already on the rooftop? This is life and death. Can't you be compassionate? She got out of the car, opened the back door, and yanked me out without hesitation. The sudden pull loosened my grip on my neck, blood spurting out instantly. I scrambled to hold my wound, pleading with her. Please just get me to the hospital. It won't take long. I've lost a lot of blood and feel dizzy. I'm going to die. Becky shot me a cold look. Relax, it's just a minor injury. You won't die. I'm a doctor. I know what's serious and what's not. Don't you trust my professional judgment? If it's that urgent, hail a cab yourself, she said before flooring the gas and driving away. Before I could even react, the car's sudden start knocked me to the ground, my head hitting a sharp stone. Blood covered my face. I curled up on the cold, hard pavement, a wave of despair washing over me. At the brink of life and death, my wife of 3 years abandoned me for a call from her first love. Besides, my injury was because of her. Today is our 3rd wedding anniversary. I booked a nice dinner and was on my way to pick up Becky after work. Right outside the hotel, I was suddenly stopped by some guys. The leader asked if I knew Becky. I barely said she was my wife when he pulled out a kitchen knife and started slashing me. Why does everyone else's surgery go fine, but my brother's didn't? I'll kill you for my brother. Damn doctor. I'll make you feel what it's like to lose family. I couldn't dodge in time, got slashed several times and fell. The heaviest cut was on my neck, blood gushing out immediately. When Becky arrived, she hugged me, sobbing, apologizing that it was her fault for not properly explaining the medical mishap to the patient's family, causing them to take their anger out on me. The cold autumn wind cut through, chilling me to the bone. I felt dizzy, my vision doubling. I was shaking badly, cold sweat on my forehead. I was gonna die like this. I fumbled for my phone and called 911. Doctor, my carotid artery's been cut. Can you send an ambulance? I'm at. But before I finished, I heard a surprised voice. Are you Jackson? Becky's been complaining about you being jealous and dramatic all the time. You've become quite the office legend. Are you faking it just to get attention? No need, really. The person on the line was one of Becky's colleagues. I'm dramatic and jealous? That's how she described me to them? Hastily, I explained, no, I'm bleeding a lot. I can't stop the bleeding and I can't catch a cab. I am in danger. Please help me. The other end hesitated. We only have 2 ambulances on night duty. Becky called them for someone about to jump. Maybe call Becky? She's the doctor and knows your situation best. With no other option, I called Becky again. The phone rang for what seemed like forever before someone picked up. It wasn't Becky's voice. Becky's taking a shower. Want to talk to her? Beg me, said a male voice. Howard. But I couldn't worry about that now. Please let Becky take the call. I'm losing blood. I need to get to the hospital, I begged. Howard chuckled. Truth is, begging won't help. I just joked about jumping, and she left you for me. Jackson, you're such a failure. She doesn't care about you. Hurting yourself won't change that. Why make up such a lousy excuse? He hung up. Meanwhile, my phone flashed a low battery warning, barely lasting another minute. I bravely sent my location and 2 quick words in our class group chat. Help me. Blood was everywhere. My phone screen was becoming blurry with it. I was fading, feeling tired like I'd never felt before. Couldn't even keep my eyes open. Not sure how long it was before a gentle, warm hand held mine. Someone called my name repeatedly, helped me up. I was finally rushed to the hospital. In a daze, I sensed the medical team moving quickly, everything more urgent than usual. The carotid artery is almost severed. Patients lost too much blood. Could collapse any time. Need emergency surgery. Get the blood ready. The patient's blood pressure is dropping. Start a transfusion. We can't handle it here, notify the ICU. Where's the family? We need signatures for the critical condition notice and surgery consent. Can't reach the wife. Her phone's not connecting. In the chaos, I heard a gentle but firm female voice. If you can't reach family, don't wait. Follow the attending doctor's orders. Rush the rescue as per normal procedures. I'm his friend. If something goes wrong, I'll take responsibility. I can sign a consent form. I vaguely remembered. This woman seemed like my high school classmate, Wendy. We sat near each other back then, had a good relationship. But after I started dating Becky, we lost touch. I never expected, after my plea in the group chat, she'd actually show up. Her words were resolute. With her acting as interim family, the medical staff quickly wheeled me into the emergency room. They set me up with tubes and equipment. The patient's platelet count is very low. The bleeding won't stop, a nurse said. The wound is deep with too many neck nerves and small blood vessels. The surgery is highly difficult. Only Dr. Becky in our hospital has performed this type of surgery. Hurry, call DR. Becky. Lying on the operating table, I felt the irony. I went to great lengths to get myself to the hospital, only to realize my life still depended on her. The call connected quickly, with the nurse explaining the situation rapidly. Dr. Becky, could you come to the hospital? There's a patient with a ruptured carotid artery. The surgery is too complex for us to handle. Becky responded with irritation. I'm not on the night shift today. I've scheduled leave for tomorrow. I've got plans. I'm not free. Plus, I'm not obliged to be on call 24/7, she added. Then I heard Howard's voice on the other end. It's late. Why is the hospital calling you? Becky, fetch my towel. Would you? I couldn't help but find it amusing. Here I was, close to death on the operating table, while my wife enjoyed her cozy time at another man's place. The oxygen monitor started beeping. Nurses scrambled to add more oxygen. The attending doctor glanced back at me, clearly annoyed by Becky's indifference, yet still had to stress, Dr. Becky, the patient's platelet is dangerously low, and the situation is critical. Only you have experience with such high difficulty surgeries. Becky grew even more impatient. He's critical? People with depression jumping off buildings are critical too, aren't they? I'm a doctor, not a robot. I have the right to rest outside of work. I've got no time now. The phone call ended with a busy tone, leaving the doctor cursing. Her husband wants constant company, and she disregards her patients' lives? This is a life and death situation. A nurse suddenly gasped, noticing, this patient's wife's phone number is the same as Dr. Becky's. She checked my medical file again. Jackson, his name is Jackson. He's Dr. Becky's husband. The nurse then redialed her. Dr. Becky, the patient with the ruptured carotid artery needing emergency surgery is Jackson. But Becky's response shocked everyone. Her tone was cold. So what? If something happens to Jackson, I'll sign a liability waiver. You don't have to bear responsibility. Don't call me again in the middle of the night. Let's talk when I'm back at work the day after tomorrow. With that, she hung up. The medical staff, facing each other in stunned silence, didn't speak for a while. Wendy left, upset, but came back shortly. I've contacted a renowned surgical expert, flying in now. He should be here in about 2 hours. Everyone breathed a little easier, but a young nurse exclaimed, "Oh no, The patient needs more blood transfusions, and the last AB-type blood bag is used up. Chaos erupted in the room. What do we do now? We can't operate, can't stop the bleeding. He won't last until the expert arrives. We've contacted nearby blood banks for urgent supply, but the fastest is an hour away. Then Wendy's voice came in again, draw mine. A hesitant nurse replied, but ma'am, you just gave 400 cubic centimeters earlier. If we take more, your body. Wendy showed no hesitation, it's fine. I can manage. Saving a life is more important. I tried to move my lips, wanting to say something to her, but no words came out. Instead, long tears rolled down. Strangers worked relentlessly to save me, and an old classmate risked her life for me. But Becky, my own wife, left me to die while she was with her lover. I refused to let their efforts go to waste. With sheer will and the blood Wendy gave, I hung on until the expert and the blood arrived. The surgery went smoothly. My nerves and vessels were sutured, and the bleeding stopped. I lay in the ICU for a day and a night, finally turning the corner. My neck was wrapped up like a mummy as Wendy pushed me in a wheelchair to a regular ward. Only then did I learn Wendy was here on a business trip, and when she saw my SOS message, she happened to be staying near the hotel. So she came to check and ended up saving my life. Not all bad, considering. I apologized multiple times, planning to treat her to a nice meal once out of the hospital. Maybe gather a few other classmates from back then for a reunion. Just as I was lost in thought, the voice of the rounding doctor in the corridor rang out. Dr. Becky, Jackson has a lot of documents needing your signature. That's when I realized Becky's leave was over, and today she was back at work. Becky finally came in, reluctantly taking the papers and signing them absent-mindedly. While signing, she glanced at me. Oh, Jackson, where did you get those slipper lobsters last time? Howard loves them. Why don't you buy some more, cook them the same way, and bring them to his ward? Do it now, don't keep him waiting. I never imagined after a brush with death, I'd find myself here. I almost didn't make it back. And my dear wife, the first thing she said to me wasn't to ask if I was still hurting or to comfort me. Instead, she told me to hurry up and cook for her first love. She had signed a bunch of papers, including a critical condition notice, a surgery risk notification, and a list of used medications and supplies. As a doctor, she couldn't possibly not know what those papers meant. Even though my heart felt dead already, hearing her say that stung badly. I swallowed hard. Becky, let's get a divorce. As soon as the words left my mouth, Becky's brow furrowed. She stared at me. How many times have I told you? Howard has depression. Are you so cruel that you want to watch him jump off a building? You just can't let go of this thing. Jackson, I'm really disappointed in you. I suddenly found her ridiculous. I shook my head. My carotid artery was cut, and you left me in the middle of nowhere in the middle of the night. What about me? Didn't you think about whether I die or not? Becky's impatience and mockery showed plainly on her face. After signing her name one last time, she tossed the papers at my face. Aren't you perfectly fine now? I'm telling you, you're useless. You're not even worth a toenail of Howard's. You're lucky you married a female doctor like me, and you dare talk to me about divorce? Besides, it's just a simple arterial suture surgery. Surgeries like that happen 10 to 20 times in a day with no issues. You're just being dramatic. Her words made my head spin, and the monitor started beeping loudly. Wendy quickly hit the call button for the nurse, unable to hold back. What do you mean, simple arterial suture? Any doctor knows how dangerous his situation was. He's saved now, but here you are, making light of it. Becky didn't recognize her. Her laugh was scornful. Who are you? Our family matters are none of your business. Seeing Becky's bad attitude, Wendy was blunt too. Who I am doesn't matter. But as Jackson's wife, what were you doing when he needed saving? Taking a vacation? Flirting with another man? I just don't get how someone like you became a doctor. The hospital should fire you permanently. Becky let out another mocking laugh, her chin high. You want the hospital to fire me? Maybe in the next life. Just so you know, I've already passed my title review, and I'm about to be promoted to attending physician. Go ahead, complain all you want. The intern handling those emails is my trainee. Even with tons of complaints, the hospital won't penalize me. Then Becky turned to me. So you want a divorce now because you found someone else to back you up? But anyone who's interested in someone like you mustn't be anything special. After that, she slammed the door as she left, leaving me shaking with anger. Her words were too cruel. It was embarrassing enough that Wendy, an old friend and lifesaver, saw me in such a pathetic state. Awkwardly, I said, "Sorry, I didn't think she'd say something like that." Wendy didn't seem bothered. "It's not your fault. You don't need to apologize." She seemed like she had more to say, but finally just told me to rest well and left. Lying there alone, I felt like a clown trapped in a one-man play of a marriage. From beginning to end, the person she trusted and cared for most was Howard. So what did my years of feelings and effort mean? I was thinking of how to talk about divorce again when Becky came back in. She looked like a different person with her hair neatly done, wearing a brand new white coat, light makeup on, and wearing perfume. I frowned slightly. Howard liked women wearing perfume, but I had sinus issues and couldn't stand any fragrance. I'd told her that many times, yet she remembered none of it. She sat beside me, tucked me in with a guilty look, and said, "Jackson, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have left you like that, nor should I have thrown mud at your old friend who saved you. If it weren't for her waking me up, I wouldn't know what a big mistake I made. If she'd said these things before, maybe I'd be touched. But after life and death, it all felt gross and fake." I pulled my hand away and asked coldly, "What do you want?" She cleared her throat and got straight to it. "The health bureau leader is visiting the hospital. They heard we admitted a really critical carotid artery rupture patient and want to come see you." I frowned. "And then? Then I want you to cooperate and say that I was the one who saved you. I've arranged everything. If you play along, not only is my promotion a sure thing, but I could also be this year's surgery star. Don't slip up, okay? You'll have a famous wife representing the hospital. Good for your reputation." I was so disgusted by how shameless she was. She didn't care if I lived or died, but was quick to grab credit. If not weakened from surgery, I'd have stood up and slapped her. But just coming out of surgery, and with Becky as my only family around, I dared not refuse outright, only nodded silently. Becky seemed pleased with my response. "Don't worry. After this, I'll definitely make it up to you." Just then, the door opened, and the director walked in smiling. "This is our hospital's doctor, also the authority of our obstetrics department." I immediately recognized Wendy behind him. She was the health bureau leader. No wonder when she confronted Becky, her tone was that of authority. Her so-called business trip was actually a hospital inspection. Knowing this, when she saved me, getting blood bags from other hospitals was surprisingly easy. A single call and experts would fly in overnight. That seemed reasonable enough. Becky was obviously taken aback too. Just when I thought she would apologize, she suddenly tossed aside the medical files and covered her mouth, bursting into laughter. Quite daring to pretend to be a health department leader. "Don't think you can scare me with that." She confidently walked up to the director. "Director, this so-called health department leader is a fake. Maybe Jackson hired an actress to frighten me. Every inspection has at least 2 people by regulation. It's never just one person." I sat by the bed as Becky put her hands on her hips, rudely kicking my shin with her high heel. "Jackson, fess up. How much did you pay her to act so hard?" The director seemed unsure since he hadn't met Wendy before, but seeing Becky hit me, he came over to pull her away. "Becky, let's talk it out." I wanted to explain, but swallowed the words. At this point, she was digging her own grave. No use giving advice she'd ignore. The director then left to make a call. Becky let go of me and called security. The guards, familiar with Becky, immediately came up upon hearing someone was pretending. With Wendy restrained, Becky rolled up her sleeves. Seeing her intent, I hurriedly stopped her. "Becky, I'm not paying anyone to act. Think about the consequences." "Consequences?" She sneered. "You'll learn a tough lesson." She raised her hand and slapped Wendy hard. "You slut. Seducing my husband. Enjoy your time pretending to be a leader. Wendy, caught off guard, staggered. Her face swelled up quickly. Infuriated, I struggled to rise. You fool. Becky looked down at me. You feeling sorry? I'm gonna be a chief physician soon. Beg me, and maybe I'll spare you for old time's sake. I was too enraged to speak. Chief physician? Dream on. Moments later, the director returned in a hurry, followed by someone with an ID badge. I confirmed with HQ. This is our leader for the visit. Lou came with her but went to the restroom. The director's eyes widened, seeing Wendy's swollen face. His tone changed immediately. What happened here? He was anxious and hit his leg with frustration. Becky, you've put the hospital at risk. He turned to Wendy, nearly kneeling. Please come, let's treat your injury. I'm so sorry. It's my failure as a manager. Rest assured, I'll handle this and give you a satisfactory explanation today. Wendy sneered. Handle it? How? It's not just the assault. Her indifference to patients' lives is alarming. And suggesting signing a waiver is reckless endangerment. Does someone like that belong in a hospital? Or are you saying, to protect the hospital's image, you condone doctors taking undeserved credit? Ignorant to moral decay? The director broke into a cold sweat, quickly announced, Becky, you're fired. From today, no, from now, you're no longer a doctor here. We have zero tolerance for unethical behavior. Becky seemed to recognize the other leader, now realized her blunder. Hearing the director's words, she panicked, collapsing to the floor. Please let me explain. Wendy coldly glanced at her. The door slammed shut behind. Becky nearly caught by it. She glanced at me, agitated. Why didn't you warn me, jerk? Enjoying watching me embarrassed? I was speechless. Didn't I already hint at the consequences? Becky was left speechless, stormed off in anger. Even far away, I overheard someone in the corridor murmuring, serves her right. Never responds to ER calls, doesn't care about others' lives. She doesn't even value her husband's life, let alone others. Always cozied up with her lover. Disgusting. And she wants to be a chief physician? Please. After they left, I rested a bit, since the 4-drip finished, and no nurse answered the call light. I pulled the needle out myself, slowly got up to find help. Just stepping outside, I heard someone in the next room sighing deeply. Sounded like Howard. I used credit cards and online loans. Thinking of debt collectors gives me jumping off the roof thoughts. Becky's familiar voice was heard, gently comforting. Don't worry, Howard. We'll figure it out. I won't let anything happen to you. Howard replied with some resentment. What can you do? The promotion's probably gone. I lost 5 million. Maybe it's better if I just die. One and done. Becky was eagerly trying to cheer me up. I was so mad. It was all Jackson's fault. Not only did he not have my back, he actually conspired with outsiders to screw me over. The real enemy is him. If he just dropped dead, I'd get my hands on 8 million in no time and wouldn't need to bother about getting promoted or not. 8 million. Then it hit me. 2 years ago, right after we got married, I used our savings to buy us both hefty insurance policies. Newlyweds and all, we made each other the beneficiaries. Now the 2-year term is up, and the policy's in force. Accidental death payout? 8 million flat. Becky was still ranting. I had seen his health check report. Low platelets. He has a clotting disorder. A bleed wouldn't stop easily. That's why I knew that relative would cause trouble. I left the doctor's file on the desk on purpose. If I'd known he was this tough, I'd have stalled a bit longer, waited till he was beyond saving, then left him to die good and proper, making sure he couldn't call for help. My fists clenched, my palms icy with sweat. Recently, I heard the stock market was booming, limit up several days straight. Howard invested big and made a killing. Becky didn't stop bragging in front of me about how clever he was, how gifted he was with investments, that he was a born CEO. But this month, I heard the market tanked, hitting limit down quite a few times. Becky asked me several times if I could lend Howard some cash to cover his positions and cut losses. She never handed over a cent of her paycheck. All household expenses were on me. Even her ailing mom's meds came out of my pocket. I had some savings stashed away for her maternity fund, and I wasn't about to blow it on their stock market mischief. I flat out refused. Little did I know she'd have her eyes on the insurance payout. Might even set me up to die accidentally. I barely remember how I got back to my hospital room, trembling all over in my bed. I thought Becky just didn't love me, had her mind on some other guy. But wanting me dead? I never saw that coming. With my folks far away and me fresh out of surgery, frail and alone, I was a sitting duck. Becky could fight the divorce, stall me, and pull some covert moves, then what? Wendy saved me once, no guarantee she could again. The thought alone unnerved me. I typed up a divorce agreement, wrote, erased, rewrote 1,000 times, concessions everywhere for Becky. In the end, I tossed the phone aside. Becky's hospital trouble ensured she wouldn't let me off easy. I stayed a few more days in the hospital. To my surprise, Becky didn't even once bother me. Discharged and paperwork done, I stumbled into Becky at the hospital entrance. Unfazed, she reached for my things. "Jackson, let's go home." Her words chilled me. I reflexively stepped back, lied without thinking. "I'm not going home yet." Becky, smiling good-naturedly, acquiesced. "No worries, let's not then." Grinning knowingly, "I know Wendy's sticking around. Give her company, will you? And explain it all for me, Jackson. You know, I'm from a rural place, worked hard to get where I am. Getting fired is the end." She snuggled up, pleading. "Honey, please, help me just this once. I'll even let you take her home these days, whatever you guys are up to. Fine by me. Later, I'll make it up to her personally." Stunned, I stared. Is she suggesting I take Wendy home? For a date? Her lack of scruples never ceases to surprise. "I'm aware she donated 1,200 cubic centimeters blood for you. Nearly passed out. Love-struck women will do anything. She'll listen to you if she's into you. I came back to Earth, a plan forming. Having sweet dreams. Becky? Think about it. You insulted her, slapped her, called her a mistress. Her face is mud now, she's no fool. Won't easily forgive for your sorry sake. Even if she likes me, so?" Becky, stunned, paused before asking, "So, what should we do?" Feigning difficulty, I responded, "There is a way, but forget it, you'd never go for it. Let's just go home." I pretended to head for the car. Becky panicked. "Jackson, you're my best chance, what's your idea?" "I'll agree, no problem." Hesitating on purpose, I finally suggested, "Let's get a divorce. Show some intentions here. If I'm single, Wendy won't have anything on you. We'll know you mean business, so I can talk her over. But it's a fake divorce, of course. Don't get ideas once we split. No running off to Howard. Cheat and I'm out." Used to me making up first after fights, Becky didn't linger long on it. Rushed to say, "Relax, honey. Howard and I are purely platonic. Just care for him due to his depression. You know how good you are to me. I'd never betray you." Her deception flowed too smoothly. Seeing me still unmoved, she urged, "What are we waiting for? Draft the papers, the civil affairs office is right there, let's do this." I faked browsing my phone but had the agreement done ages ago. Printed it nearby. She didn't bat an eye before signing, dragging me through the divorce swiftly. She then dropped me at Wendy's hotel's doorstep. I watched her drive off with a smug look on her face. She sneaked out the back door of the hotel. Fake divorce? Who's faking a divorce with her? I have no evidence she's trying to kill me. Even if I went to the cops, it wouldn't help. After all, I'm still here, alive and kicking. Haven't gotten any insurance money either. She could easily brush it off, not admit a thing. So I just went ahead and got a divorce. Got the freshly printed divorce certificate. Legally, I have nothing to do with her anymore. Right after, I called my lawyer, changed my insurance beneficiary. Once that was done, I got home. I hired a few temps to spruce up the place, also packed all her stuff, dumped it in the hallway, called a locksmith to change the locks, and installed some video surveillance by the door. After all that, I took a shower and slept like a baby, in my now fully mine home. Maybe I was just burned out from everything happening lately. I woke up a whole day and a night later. Saw a bunch of missed calls on my phone, all from Becky. I just ignored them. Wendy had sent me 2 messages. She said she was back to work and asked if I was okay after leaving the hospital. I politely replied, told her I got divorced smoothly. Becky can't threaten me now, so no worries. Thanked her several times. I got up, opened the windows, and breathed in the fresh air. Life without her seems pretty great, actually. Just then, the front door monitor flashed. Someone was lingering. Soon after, there was loud banging on the door. Becky's furious yelling rang in my ears. The notice for my dismissal hasn't been retracted. You didn't do what you promised. You liar. This is my house, and you dare change the locks? Wait till I deal with you. She was outside, fuming. Nothing like her white coat self back then. I know you're in there, Jackson. Come out or I'm calling the cops. I called property management, told security to sort it out. Then through the monitor, I shouted at Becky. Are you crazy, Becky? We're divorced. It's clearly written in the agreement. This house is mine. My name's on the deed. What nerve saying it's yours? Go on, call the cops. See who they side with. Becky kept banging on the door. Divorce? A fake divorce. The whole neighborhood knows you're my husband. This is my home, I have things in there. I chuckled. You even tried to send your husband to someone else's bed. Fake divorce? Who's faking anything with you? You signed that divorce agreement yourself. The certificate too, from the Civil Affairs Bureau. Legally, I've got nothing to do with you. Got your stuff all packed up in the hallway. Go pick it up. Becky was at a loss for words, then started wailing. You don't help me now, don't come begging later. I won't be nice to you. Divorce me and I'll die right in front of you. I chuckled. Hey, if you want to die, out of respect for our past, I'll get you a nice urn. Want to pick a design now? Becky fumed. Fine, we're done. Just reminding you, once you're over this village, there won't be a shop like this anymore. Don't forget how you used to tag behind me like a puppy. Even on your knees, don't come asking. Loving her was a mistake back then. But regretting the end with someone who wanted me dead? That'd be a whole new level of stupid. The security guys showed up. Sorry, Ms. Becky. Now that you're divorced, we're just following the owner's orders. Please leave. Fine, Jackson. You're ruthless. With Becky gone, back inside my place, for some reason I felt uneasy. Knowing Becky, if she could even attempt murder, she wouldn't let this slide easy. Sure enough, by morning, the police knocked on my door. Mr. Jackson? Gut feeling told me this had Becky's fingerprints all over it. I checked through the peephole and the monitor, made sure of the ID badges before opening up. As soon as I opened the door, click, I was in cuffs. Mr. Jackson, you were involved in a hit and run last night. You need to come with us. I took a step back. Officer, you must have gotten it wrong. I was home last night, hardly out driving. The officer thought for a moment. You were home? Any witnesses? I shook my head. I slept alone. Nobody saw. The officer stayed expressionless. Traffic cameras caught a driver resembling you. And the vehicle involved is in your garage. Let's go. Answer questions at the station. At the station, I got the scoop. My car hit a Maybach last night. About a $300,000 fix. It had a dash cam, but it was wrecked. Memory card missing. Definitely Becky's doing. The car was a wedding gift from my mom, registered in my name. I work close by. Most of the time, Becky used it. Wasn't worth much, so I didn't care when she kept it after the divorce. Didn't rush to change the owner's name. Becky must have set this up at night for the cameras to miss clear footage. The driver was dressed like me, no doubt, a setup, so I take the fall. Damn, over 300 grand just like that. Insurance probably won't cover it, since there's license plate covering and a hit and run. Having me deep in debt wouldn't help Becky. Only she'd do something like this, just to mess with me. Silently, I laughed inside. Too bad. She forgot one thing. I pulled my phone out of my pocket. Officer, I've got video evidence from my dashcam here. The dashcam in my car was linked to a mobile app. All the videos and footage it captured were instantly uploaded to the cloud and sent to my phone. Even if you yank out the memory card, it doesn't stop the cloud uploads. The cloud keeps videos for 3 days, which is more than enough. Sure enough, the dashcam footage on my phone clearly showed Becky, wearing my clothes and a wig, pretending to be me. And it even caught her flooring it and crashing hard into a Maybach. Plus, after she did all that, parking my car back in my garage, and destroying the dashcam, taking the memory card, I handed the video evidence over to the police and cleared my name. Then, I reminded the cops to check the security footage from the property. Even though she tried really hard to avoid the cameras, they still caught tiny clues. They found footage of Becky changing clothes and sneaking out of the parking garage. It didn't take long for Becky to get caught. The evidence was undeniable. The crime facts were crystal clear. She couldn't deny it at all. The moment she saw me, she pointed at my face, cursing me out. "You piece of trash. You'll never die in peace." I watched her pathetic outburst with a smile. Right now, she totally looked like a joke. If she hadn't been such a fool, how did she end up like this? "Becky, go sweat over the sewing machine in jail. Have a good think." Hearing the words "sweat over the sewing machine," she suddenly jumped up. "Dream on about me sitting in jail. The car owner already said, as long as I pay up, they'll agree to settle it." She must have forgotten. All her salary probably already went straight to Howard. All she had left was an old car. Over 300 grand. How could she pay up? I just smiled without saying anything. Becky got all riled up, like trying to prove something. She called Howard right in front of me, but she couldn't even get through. She kept trying, only to hear the lifeless "the number you dialed is temporarily unavailable" message on repeat. I smugly pointed out, "He's probably blocked you." But Becky didn't believe it. She borrowed a cop's phone to call him herself. Turns out, the call actually went through. She seemed like she'd grabbed a lifeline. Her voice all rushed and panicked. "Howard, help me out. I crashed a Maybach. They want 300 grand or jail time. Didn't the stock market pick up? You've got a few hundred grand in your stock account, right? Cash it out and help me out." Howard's voice was ice cold. "Becky, we're just friends. Remember? However much I have in my account. What's it got to do with you? Do I need your help spending it?" Becky got desperate. "Howard, last time when you lost money, I even took out tens of thousands in online loans to help you out. When you had depression, I was the one who stuck by you, taking care of you, comforting you. How can you say we're just friends? Are you gonna watch me walk into jail?" Howard chuckled. "What depression? I was just messing with you. I'm rich and idle. What's there to be depressed about? Every day is a happy day for me. All right, enough of that. I'm busy. My girlfriend needs me." And I clearly heard a woman's voice top it off, giggling and sweet-talking. Howard answered with a playful tone, then hung up. Becky was so mad she could explode. A liar. He's just a liar. He promised to always be there for me, to love only me, just a player. I couldn't help but snort in laughter. Ha! Who was the one earlier swearing up and down that she was pure and innocent? Realizing she got dumped by Howard again, her whole demeanor deflated. Her face looked lifeless. Then, surprisingly, her expression changed in an instant. She kneeled before me and grabbed my leg, sobbing. "Hubby, I was wrong. I was blind, made bad choices. I was conned. I see that now. Hubby, please forgive me. I'm sorry. Let's get back together. We'll be a family. I'll give you a kid. Okay? Once a couple, lifelong support. I know, you won't abandon me, right?" I looked at her expressionless. Getting conned. Huh? Great excuse for herself. Even now, she's not the slightest bit genuinely remorseful. She's only saying sorry because she doesn't want to go to jail and has no money to pay. Pushed her away. "That's enough, Becky. When you left me bleeding out on the side of the road, knowing full well about my clotting issue. When you plotted with someone else hoping I'd die soon so you could claim insurance money. Did you ever think of being a family? You framed me. Did you ever think I might go to jail? No money to pay? Then go to jail. And stay there as long as you can." Feeling like a weight was lifted off, I turned and walked away. more decisively, than the day Becky left me on the road at midnight. She couldn't pay up, so the Maybach owner sued her. Becky got sentenced to 5 years in prison. When her sickly mother heard the news, she blasted me over the phone. Although she wasn't fond of me to begin with, considering she's my elder, I didn't say anything back. Who would have thought she'd get so riled up? She collapsed, dead from a heart attack. Becky lost her job, her family, her freedom, the only one left who cared about her, her own mother. She also lost everything. The court ordered her to auction off all her assets to compensate the Maybach owner. I heard she also had a massive amount of online debt from borrowing money for Howard's margin call. In deep despair, I heard Becky ended up with a severe depression while in prison. A year later, she took her own life. As for me, after the divorce, I had more time to focus on work. My income steadily increased. Everything was going smoothly, and life was good. One day, near the end of my workday, I got a call. "Is this Mr. Jackson? We're from the insurance company. Your ex-wife bought a policy with us 4 years ago. You're the beneficiary. Now that she's deceased, there's an $8 million payout. When you're free, please bring your documents to process the claim." That's when it hit me. Though Becky ended up in prison, her cause of death was suicide due to depression. And it's been way more than 2 years since she bought the policy. When we divorced, she hadn't had the chance to change the beneficiary before going to prison. So even though she was my ex, I'm still the beneficiary according to the contract. All her cunning plans, but I unexpectedly got a windfall. I took her death insurance payout. The next day, I went and bought a villa in a high-end community, paid in full. I put up the house Becky and I once shared for sale online. After finalizing the villa purchase and furnishing my new place, I moved in quickly. The day after I moved in, someone called me from the front door. "Jackson, welcome to our neighborhood." I turned around and it was Wendy. She stood by the door next to mine in a dress, smiling like an angel. Without the work clothes and with light makeup, she looked stunning. I was pleasantly surprised. "You live here too?" She nodded, "Of course. Don't you remember? I recommended this neighborhood to you." I knew her family was in business and pretty well off. Over the past year, I reconnected a lot with old classmates and often saw Wendy. She was always friendly towards me. "Just moved in, haven't started cooking, right? Come over for a meal. My mom's a great cook." She half dragged me inside with enthusiasm. Her parents were warm, but their gazes were a bit strange. During dinner, they kept asking about my family and if I wanted kids, even a second one. I was puzzled while Wendy nudged me under the table. She whispered, "My parents are constantly nagging me to get married. So annoying. You owe me big time, so do me this favor. Pretend for a bit, will you?" I froze for a moment, looking at her cute profile. Something nudged softly inside me. I put on a serious face. "No, I don't want to pretend to be your boyfriend." Wendy looked awkward, almost on the verge of tears. I leaned over and whispered in her ear, "How about we skip pretending? Let's try for real." Her face turned bright red immediately, but she moved closer and hooked her arm around mine. "You're mean.